Hey guys, so it is Wednesday, March 6th, and I'm here at the Bicycle Casino. Now, it's a rainy day here in California, but inside, it's gonna be smoking hot, cause it's ladies' night. Well, that was a subpar joke. Anyway, now over the years as a female poker player, I have gotten lots of the same questions. Very stereotypical questions, some insightful, but mostly all the same. Among those are, what's it like to be a woman at the poker table? Do all the guys underestimate you? Do you sometimes pretend that you don't even know how to play? I've tried that. It's like, oh my god, I never played before. What is this game? That has never worked for me, so there's the answer to that question. Also, men aren't just in general, just as women aren't anyway, just in general, men aren't stupid. They're not just like, she's a woman, she has no idea. I mean, there are a couple out there, don't get me wrong, but no, not generally, that's not the thing. And the other thing that people always ask is like, what's it like playing with other women? And there's a stereotype too that like, women are catty. Like if I'm at a table with a bunch of guys and one other woman and we get in a hand, everybody's like, arr! That was the wrong noise. I think that was like a lion. I meant like that. It'll do something like that. And that is so not true. And actually for me, I love supporting women in poker. Tons of female poker playing friends. And I love being a part of that. Being a part of like welcoming women into the game. So tonight, I think you're gonna see the whole range of female poker playing and stories and all that stuff. So there's a couple of hours until we start. I'm gonna head downstairs and get ready to play. I can't wait to bring you guys with me from a ladies' night. Oh, what a night. All right, guys, it's almost time. Look at all the cameras. Look at Sandra again. Hey, but you can't even recognize her. You can't even recognize her. What's up, Sandra? Shooting for Poker Queens today?
I am. I'm shooting for Poker Queens. I got some great interviews. Angelica Hale. We had Jillian Epp today.
Right here. Hey, girl. What's your Twitch?
Oh, my new Twitch, Hustler Honey.
Hustler.
My first online poker name.
Hustler Honey.
I brought it back.
All right. All right, got my seat. What's up, Dean? I want you to know that when I lived in Indiana, Fort Wayne, and I was starting to play poker and looking up to all of these pros, you were one of the ones I found on MySpace. And I was like, I want to be like Jean.
Now you got these vlogs. We can do a I'm just here at the bike.
Yeah, but tell us about the room too.
Okay, so the bike just opened up a high stakes room. It's beautiful. The chairs are beautiful. We're running right now a 500, 1,000 mixed game with a 300, 600 mixed game as well. We're hoping to get a lot of big PLO and big no limit hold'em in there. And I am going to be hosting. I can take care of all your needs, whatever you need.
Oh my gosh, awesome. That's so exciting. Get at this girl if you want to play in the high VIP area. Oh! Hey.
Ladies' night here.
Ladies' night. All right, we're ready to go. Oh, hey, Lily, what's up? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I need yellow chips.
Me too. I think he's coming with a bunch.
Hey. Willie Coletto in the building.
Guys, let's jump right into the action with some voiceover. I'm just going to talk you guys through a few of the biggest hands I played. Now, this one came about 20 minutes in, and I raised it up here with King Queen off.
Kristy's going to 3-bet here with King Queen offsuit. Mamacita with Ace Queen off.
And it was actually just a raise because
like
it
just
was
calls. We got a lot of
a blind raise under the gun. And this is something that the announcers were just completely missing. They weren't paying very close attention to the game because we were doing dead 20s, we were doing blind raises, and they kept saying 3-bet or 4-bet, but no, that's an open. So here we go, here's the flop. And when I am the pre-flop raiser and I just get called in 2 spots, an ace-high board is much better for my range. I have the King of Hearts, so I decide to c-bet here. Now, when Mamacita raises, I am thinking that she has just a really good hand. I've seen her play before and sort of overplay top pair, and actually having the King of Hearts in my hand makes it much less likely that she has a flush draw. And a lot of people are raising, king high flush draw. So, and obviously this is, I just have king high, so I just let it go. And just a side note about Mamacita, I love her. I think she's so much fun, so beautiful. I love how just like badass she is at the table. She's taken the poker world by storm, and I think she's so good for poker, and I love it. And I think she's really sweet. All right, now on to the next hand. Once again, the announcers get it wrong. They say,
Jean, raise it up.
when really she has 20 out there and has not even looked at her hand yet. So the action goes, Mamacita raises to 60, the dead raise. She gets called by Amber Joe. And then it folds around to Lily, who calls. Now, at this point, this hand is a few minutes later than the last one I just shared. And as you can tell, we have started drinking wine. People are being very loose. Lily and Jean in particular, they are very stubborn and playing a lot of hands. And so when it folds around to me and I have ace king suited facing just a single raise, I definitely want a 3-bet here. It's one of the best hands we can have. People are playing loose, and this hand just actually is going to do really well with a small SPR, meaning as long as we don't fold post flop once making this raise, we're going to be doing just fine, because people are going to be calling with much worse hands like ace jack, or as you can see, people are calling with suited connectors. And when I make a 3-bet, I by far have the strongest range, because if anybody else would have kings, queens, jacks, or usually ace king, they would shove and just get it all in pre. But since I was the one who 3-bet and just get called, I have the strongest range. And so when I see this flop, it's somewhat coordinated, but people shouldn't really be calling pre-flop with 7-5, 5-3, or many like 6-4s or anything like that. They shouldn't really have those. So the most likely hands that I'm gonna run into when I do shove are pairs, maybe like 8s or 9s, or maybe some flush draws. But because I made it so big pre, and because I still have the strongest range versus much wider ranges, when I shove, two things can happen. Either everybody could fold, or I get called most likely by a flush draw or a pair, and I still have either the best hand or I still have really good equity versus a pair. I have 2 overs, I have a backdoor flush draw. So shoving on this flop is really the only play. So that's what I do. I shove and I get snapped by Jean right behind me with a hand that I likely thought someone might show up with, which was a flush draw. And just to speak a little bit about her call pre-flop, she called 3-10, which is a third of the effective stack. Cold called pre. She did have a dead 20 out there, which makes people much less likely to fold. And it's just really tough to have a hand like that make money versus a very strong 3-bet range, which, when Mamacita raises under the gun and a bunch of people call, I'm really just not going to be squeezed bluffing there a ton. So most likely I have hands like jacks, queens, kings, aces, ace king suited, and jack 10 just really doesn't do that great versus that range with no stack behind, because one of the great things about jack 10 suited is that you can semi bluff with it, but to do that it requires a bigger SPR. And I'm not saying that because I'm like judging her play or saying it's wrong. I mean, it's mathematically wrong, but in this case, as you can see, we're all cheersing and drinking wine and having fun, and Jean's creating action. So, and especially when she puts out the dead 20, I totally get it. Jack 10 is a beautiful looking hand. I just think it's important because for those of you guys who are watching this who want to get better at poker, it's a really tough spot to make money at for her. So, all right, and then so I go and get some money and I reload, and this hand happens. I just wanted to show you because it was pretty brutal. So in this hand, Mamacita actually has a dead, I think it was a dead 40 out there. Yes, I think it was a dead 50. Whatever it was, she had dead money out there. And then Wino raised huge. And then Lily and Mamacita, they get it all in. Kings, queens.
Lily's like, no, definitely not folding this.
And then this is what's up.
We got some Lily fans. We got some Wino fans.
They both showed kings.
Got some Mamacita fans.
Oh my God.
Bam. And she crushes both of them and scoops the giant pot.
They be running Jack 10.
Brutal. But nothing you can do, really. Especially when you got dead money out there.
Pray for Mamacita.
And just as a side note, Wino and Lily, they took it totally in stride. Well, it happens. True pros right there. All right, on to this one. This is a smaller one, but I thought it was worth chatting about.
Shout out to Blackpink.
Especially if you play.
Lily raising
No.
9 deuce and Christy
No, guys.
Arnett 3-betting
She
8-7
did not
suited.
raise. It was a dead 20.
Lily did not come here to fold.
Come
and she's
on.
actually ahead.
Wayne and Weeze,
9 high
get
like
your
a
shit
boss.
together. I raised, she called.
Peter Bay asks, hey, Weeze and Wayne, who's sitting at seat 1? I believe that's Christy.
Christy Arnett,
That's me.
vlogger, YouTube poker vlogger, and inspirational poker player.
Oh, well, that's nice of you. I guess I can
Christy
get you some
outflops
slack.
Lily.
All right, wait, back up. Back to this hand.
And check the flop.
And here's what I really wanted to illustrate with this hand is that, so against an opponent like Lily, who is super aggressive, likes to check raise, likes to barrel, likes to stab, my general strategic adjustment against a player like that is to check back more of my middle hands and make my bets more polar. So either when I really have it for value, I can bet big, or when I have my bluffs, I'm betting big as well. So the value of checking back the middle part of my range and widening the middle part of my range comes when, you know, she takes stabs and I can catch some bluffs. And against someone who's playing lots and lots of hands, lots of offsuit hands, I need much less protection against such a wide range. So I checked back this flop. She stabbed on the turn. I called, and it went check, check, river. So it worked out. All right, on to the next hand. I raised it up with 6-5 off in the hijack. Now this is definitely not a raise that I usually make, but I wanted to play some pots, play some hands, mix it up. And whenever you are looking to mix it up, the two spots that you want to be aware of are the button and either the big blind or the straddle, because those are the two positions that are going to be playing the most often. And here, the button and the straddle were players who don't do a lot of 3-betting, and so I was comfortable playing a hand like this, hopefully heads up, and getting in there. But then Natalia, seat 5, who had just sat down, as you can see, she still has racks. She 3-bets tiny. And the straddle calls, and when it comes back to me, I mean, it's like minimum to me. I pretty much have to call with anything I raise with. I'm in position, so it's totally fine. And then the flop comes pretty dry, king 9 deuce.
Nick Metaxas says, we wanted
And
Mamacita tonight.
Natalia
Coffee, soup,
c-bets.
cups, and aces.
And there was just something about the way Natalia c-bet, and also her tiny 3-bet. The story wasn't coming together. And you see that look that she just gave? It was just like, to me, it felt like she was trying to look comfortable. Like, she keeps like looking and half smiling. Oh, look, I'm like paying attention over here because I'm not super worried.
You know who?
And it just something in my gut was like, she's got nothing, and she just really doesn't want any pressure.
Kristy, is she gonna make a move, sensing weakness from Natalia?
I just like, in my stomach
ready.
was just like, make it
On the
300.
surface,
Just
she
make it
looks calm and
300.
ready.
No, just make it like 250.
drop
Just do
chips.
50. Ugh, but you have such a bad, no blockers.
Natalia
Ugh.
gets away with it.
Sometimes it's hard in poker, especially as you learn to get better and you think about hand combinations and blockers and all those things. But sometimes you just gotta take poker to the streets and just say, you know what? I don't think you got it. And just go for it. And my gut was telling me something there, and I put a pinpoint in that and wanted to remember that for later, like that gut feeling, to see if I was right and to see if I could recognize that again in Natalia. So, alright guys, we're like halfway through the filming, and it is a crazy game. We're having so much fun, and I just wanted to check in with you guys. This is the most fun I've had playing poker, even though I'm super stuck. But we're gonna get it back. Just wait.
Thanks for the
Alright,
follow,
so I
Tom
hop
Benson.
back in there, and I'm ready to play. Like, play with my gut, do all the things. And I've been folding, honestly,
Blinkers are
because,
back
like,
as
I'm
they
not a crazy
got rid of
person.
Jeremy.
I just don't play, like, terrible hands. I just had 0 spots. And then here I raise with ace-5 off. And once again, Natalia does this small 3-bet. And I saw how wide she was 3-betting before. I knew she had ace-7. And so when she does it again, I decide to 4-bet bluff
Natalia
with
calls.
the hand that I have.
Kristy steal from the
Because
cutoff.
ace-5 off doesn't do well as a
Ace-queen
call.
off.
And I have the ace
And
blocker.
straddle.
Of course,
No, it looks like she's
ace-5
gonna
suited
re-raise.
would be better in the event that she calls, has more equity.
Oh, no.
But
Sorry, they got that.
always wait for the very perfect hand. And so when she just calls and I'm still the preflop aggressor, this is a dry board. I have ace-king a lot, aces and kings, whereas she doesn't very often. And since it's dry, I think I can bet small here. So I just c-bet like a little under third or around third pot, and she folds. Now, I was sort of like
betting 140
unfortunate. I ran into the
300,
top part of
and
her
400,
range when
sorry.
she's 3-betting small so often.
King high
And
flop, obviously.
when she does call
Hard for
my
Natalia to
4-bet,
especially being out of
usually I'm gonna give up because I expected her to fold a lot of her hands. But on this kind of board, the king high board, I just have to continue. But if it's a board like deuce deuce 5, she's probably not gonna fold ace king or any of her pairs. So that is a board I would be a little bit more cautious on. But this one went ahead and bet she folded. Also, we had a birthday. Happy birthday, Amber Joe. It was so nice to meet you and play with you. And we crushed that red velvet cake and the ice cream too. Happy birthday!
You know, you're
All right, back to the action. So it's nearing the end of the night. I mean, we're 3 hours in. Been playing for a while. The wine's been flowing. Now we're eating cake. Mamacita straddles under the gun to 10. And it folds around to seat 5, Natalia, who raises to 45 with Jack 10 off.
With 2 snowmen, JJ De La Garza's favorite hand.
Wino calls on the cutoff with 8s.
We need to have a talk with JJ.
About
Lily calls on the
2
button.
queens at the same time now?
And then it's my turn
what do you mean? Oh,
with
he's not-
pocket 9s. Now, when everyone flats, I definitely need to 3-bet squeeze this pot for value. I just go for it to 270. And the other person I'm worried about having an actual hand is the original raiser. But when she folds, I feel really good
There's a
about my
fold.
hand.
Natalia actually has 2 overs.
And now when Wino starts thinking, I'm like really sure I have the best hand, because I know that she 3-bets pretty loose and had been during the game. So if she finally had a hand like 10s, jacks, queens, she would have 3-bet herself. I'm thinking she's just counting the pot and wondering whether or not she should call with a pair. Like, does she have the right price? Does she have like 9-10 suited? Maybe I should call. That's what I'm thinking she's thinking.
Last time I was able to eat cake with, you know, there's some good surgeons around here in Beverly Hills.
Wow. Wino's going over the top.
I definitely wasn't expecting that, but because she flatted a raise and didn't 3-bet, it's unlikely she has 10s, jacks, queens, kings, and maybe she could have ace jack that she thinks maybe I'm messing around and squeeze bluffing with like ace 5 suited or something. So when she back raises, I pretty confidently just go all in, assuming I have the best hand, maybe flipping at the very worst. But she had pocket 8s and hit a set against my 9s, and
Gets lucky, flops a set and holds.
unfortunately for me, I get stacked here. But it's all good. I knew I made the right play, so I just buy back in. And we only have a few minutes left on the stream,
I just winks at
and I
the camera.
just decide to
That's sick.
eat some ice cream. And then this hand comes up. You can see we've all been drinking wine. It's getting a little crazy. Jean raises blind onto the gun, or she
Gonna
puts a
make a guess
blind
and Jean's
20
drunk.
out there. And it folds around to Lily, who calls in the small blind.
I've never fooled period. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I'm in the straddle 10 with jack 9 suited.
Where you take advantage of my weakness.
Have you looked? You haven't looked. Okay, I'm gonna make it 110.
I can definitely just call the blind raise, but I decide that against a blind hand and against Lily, who's out of position,
Rebetting the Jack 9 suited from the UTG straddle.
that this would be a fine raise. I have some good activity, and of course when I flop and ended, I'm going to continue here. It's a good semi-bluff,
Whoa, Jean.
and they both snap call.
I lied. Not
Now, I'm not very deep because the max buy-in was 1,000, so that's what I bought in for.
here, Ryan Feldman.
Now, the king is much better for my range, my raising range, so I shove, and Jean snap calls.
Jeans with the nut flush draw and your ace high is good.
Of course, if she doesn't turn a nut flush draw, this bluff works. I still have plenty of equity. And if I'm going to raise this hand pre-flop, I definitely need to go with this hand, especially on this turn, which is much better for me. They shouldn't have too many kings in their range.
It's not that. She
So,
wants to win the pot, but she doesn't.
yeah,
Like, you know.
I get crushed. And I buy back in. The last few minutes weren't much better. And I actually ended the night as the biggest loser. But looking back on everything, I'm actually totally fine with it. I think I played well. I liked the bluff that I made, and I got pretty unlucky. And the one who finished on top was Mamacita. Afterwards, after getting my butt kicked, I was like, you know what? I want to go out with you ladies, and I want to have fun. So this is a little of the debauchery that happened when the stream turned off.
No, babe, I'm stacking my chips. Okay, stack
Oh,
your chips.
Mamacita!
Like, do the math, boo.
Mwah.
We're the winners lounge.
Could you tell by the footage who was losing? Me and Lily are just yomping on the ice cream.
That's it. That's it. We're so done. We're so done with this life.
We piled into a car and we're going to
an unknown destination.
an unknown destination. We just trust Jean back here.
Can we listen to some hip hop music?
Yeah, let's
Cool.
go.
Is this a rap? It's a rap video.
Love you guys.
Let it out. Let it out.
Heard he wanna lay it down on Iggy. Iggy gave it to him twice. Now he want a 3 mic Gibby Diva, but I need a bad boy. Rest in peace, Whitney, part of me, but I don't think none of these bitches fucking with me. Why the billboard bitch stop running in place? Heels on me saying give me 6 inches of space. Course side while designer frames cover my face. Now everybody in the game wanna get